want to make a quick observation about Koine Greek. So this is epsilon s f s s f s. So like the short vowels are included with a letter like that. So s f s. Like I can't say it unless I say s f s. And what does that mean? It means the past tense of save. So it's saved. So Ali Asafasa Muhammad min al Persians. I don't know. Like because I don't know if we would use men, but we might use men. We might actually use men in Greek. I'm not sure, but so that was one thing I wanted to talk about. But I also came across this word Apollon, which is Apollon, and because remember we figured out that Curious Sub-Allah was the name of God, and we found out that Allah is a very hard L. So this would be Apollon, 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 Apollon. So the destroyer would be Apollon. So, but what's Apollo's name in the Bible? Or Paul? It's Paulo, Paulos, Apollon, or Apollos, or even Apollo. He has a lot of names in the Bible. But the reason I got this is because I was going to show you how like short vowels are. But it doesn't really help because the short vowel is actually after that because it's like because instead of that doesn't really help. I shouldn't have used those as an example. Yeah, but this one's a good example because esafasa. So how would you say this? It looks like Jamaiki. I can't see it completely. But it's Gamaiki because it's Egyptian. But there's Gambia. That's easy. Gamma. But it depends on whether or not it's under or above, and clearly it's under there. But you can't even tell what word that is. That's mosque. But that's with a mark underneath, and so like with this, I would just put a mark over it in Arabic because essa, fa. Sa, and then this would be like a ha at the end, which looks like that. You have to know how to read Arabic. I meant to do a little sermon in my last video because I was going to talk about how I think this is Apollon, and that is the word to suffer, the verb to suffer. So you could say Apollon. I don't know how to say alone. I really should know how to say that. But to suffer is connected to the destroyer, which is connected to the person who brings the plague on Jerusalem, which is the cornerstone of the Christian religion to this day. Like, there's nothing more important to a Christian than Paul. Why? Because Paul's the best writer. They don't have to give a sermon if they have Paul. Paul gives the sermon. Paul's easy to read. Paul's the strictest. Paul has the craziest rules. Paul will tell you to do something that the more serious of a Christian you are, you'll follow Paul. You'll be the girl that covers her head when she prays on the internet. And I didn't even know that was why she was covering her head. Because the angels, because she's afraid of the angels. Yeah, because of Paul. So, to suffer, Apollon, to the destroyer, Apollon, 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 probably, Apollon, 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 probably is actually what it is. So, like, is there something wrong with the religion where, like, they're following the person who brings the plague, who says crazy shit, who is, his name means the destroyer, and it also means to suffer. And like the whole Christian religion sure seems to have a problem with gay people. And the guy turns out to have a thorn in his side, which according to Origen, a thorn in your side has to do with pleasure. What kind of pleasure? Like, I got a thorn in my side? Like, oh, I got something sticking out of my side? No, he's like sticking things in his side. Like he's like getting his thorn stuck in his side? Yeah, it gives him pleasure. Like getting something stuck inside of you, like gives you pleasure. Yeah, because you have okay. All I'm saying is that like, you're following like a crazy person who like really did need to like get tortured a little bit for us. Like he deserved it. Like sometimes like you fuck up. So I gave this lesson earlier where I was talking about SFS and talking about how like you have to add short vowels on top of that, like accent marks in Arabic. Like right here, like this one would have one underneath. This one would have one above. This one looks like it might have one underneath. But because this would be gamma, and then this one would be gamma, and so it'd go up versus yeah, and so but like with this one you're going up, so you're saying esafasa, and like I wanted to talk about like how that's significant, like because like you can't say that word without saying esafasa, like you have to break it up. And like I talked about Kuriya Sub Allah, and which is Kuriya Sabah, which is Kuriya Sabath, which is Sabath, which is actually Thiu Sub Allah. Okay. What I'm trying to say is that this is in the Bible. This character, Kuriya Sub Allah, and like you think that his name is Sabaoth. You think his name's Lord Seven if you speak Arabic. You think his name's Lord Sabah, but his name's is Sub Allah, or it might be Sub Allah, Sub Allah. And the reason that the reason you can know that, and including this is like that. So this would be Apollon. Apollon. Because like you are stopping once you hit the double L, because that's the equivalent of this thetas, because this is Apollon. Esafasa. So sometimes, so like this can be a short vowel, but this can also have a lot of different types of sounds to it. And the letters are allowed to sound similar, but like, but I do think that like just seeing that word is pretty good evidence for Kuriya Sub Allah. Because why does Muhammad, who's like walking distance to Jerusalem, care so much about Allah? And he follows Jesus, like he follows Jesus, I promise. He considers himself a Christian. He knows these people are changing the religion. He will never not follow Kuriya Sub Allah. Like he has to follow Kuriya Sub Allah. He follows Allah. And so, which I think Kuriya might be Lord of the Seven, Allah, which is Athena, because I found it on the Athena coins in two different, one with the theta and one with, if you don't think Allah is in the Bible, then you're like someone that's completely crazy. Like the moment you think about it, you're like, wait, Allah's in the Bible? Of course Allah's in the Bible. Like, I mean, it's gotta be in the Bible. Like, but we just don't know who Allah is. Turns out it's freaking Athena. It's very confusing. But her name's On, and she's Zeus's wife, or Zeus' wife. And when Zeus is in love with On, and they are laying in a feather bed that's we've got slaves with our palm trees, and we've got Rainbow Satanica, who's actually our slave. We just tell everyone, oh, she's our slave actually, but she comes around with grapes and like feeds us grapes. Generally, Rainbow Satanica walks around with grapes, but I walk in, and when I walk in, what I say is, Botuan. And it's an orange that I hand to On. And what I'm saying to her is, for you, On. This is for you. Para ti, On. or pete on, or potu on. But do you say potu in Spanish? No, which is why it's so perfect. Because like they won't let you say potu on. Like I don't think so. I've never said potu ever. Yeah, you have to add the short vowels, or else you can't say the letters. It's logical that like the beginning of reading was not a bunch of diphthongs, and it had standalone letters a lot. And one of those things, the standalone letters was the theta, which is lo, which is like it's the equivalent of two taws apparently, which is lo. So like if this was two taws, it would be Apollon, but this is a lambda, so it might be Apollon. I mean, you don't know. Like I don't know yet because I haven't figured out what the lambdas are.